Yo, Joe, what's up, buddy? Water. I'm out of coffee. Alright. Alright, a bit of a quick video here. So, something I want to show you guys is how I do time lapse and how I approach it. The first thing that I do is that simply to cross this off, these guys are actually 8 frames long, right? If I bring up like the video transition by default, these are 8 frames, right? So, the reason why I set the default transition to 8 frames is that if I say remove this, I can select this. I have a command on my keyboard where I hit Control D, and that applies like the transition, right? Each one of these like transitions that you see here, they're all 8 frames long, right? And like that just has like a very nice smooth transition from one clip to another when I'm doing a time lapse, right? So you got one transition there, another one there, another one there, here comes another one. So it looks good, right? And that's the thing about like when I'm editing, is that I want the transition to feel very smooth, right? Because there's a lot going on. I just realized that I had the mic in front of me. What a fucking dumbass. Shit. Hey, fuck it. I'm not gonna redo this. Whatever. Okay, there's 4 speed increase values that I use in all the pause videos, right? 250%, 500%, 750%, and 1000%. Those are the 4 like percentages that I use when I increase like the speed of pause videos, right? So if I go back to these clips, right? If I select one, if I right click, if I go to speed and duration, see this one's 500. If I go to say this one, right click, speed and duration, see this one's 750. I think if we go to this one, right click, go to speed and duration again, see this one's 1000, right? And for the most part, when I use like 250 speed increase, it's mainly when it's handheld, right? There's a lot going on with the hand, right? You're like going like this, jittering, right? So 250 it sounds like the max, so you can speed up the handheld footage without looking like too shaky, right? That's mainly what I use 250 for. But everything else, it's either like 500, 750, or 1000, right? If I need to manually adjust things more than 1000%, there's actually a tool that I put on the R on my keyboard, which is called the rate stretch tool, right? That changes the cursor to like this like rate stretch tool, and what it does is like when you increase like the clip, it automatically adjusts like the speed values of like the clip. See, that one turned to 36%, so this one is slower. So if I want to go faster, I could just make it shorter, and that'll increase the speed of it to 341%, right? So that's how this tool works, right? So it's something to keep in mind. If you want to know how to do that in DaVinci Resolve, you have to select the clip first, you right click, and then like you have real-time controls, right? The hotkey for that is Control R, right? So you select that, you get this thing going on. You have like these bunch of arrows or whatever. Move the cursor to the top of the clip till it looks like this. Then move that down. As you can see here, like the values changed. And as you can see here, it pretty much is sped up, right? And another way to do it is simply you can right click on it. You go to like change clip speed. And now you have the percentage, if you want to make it like faster or slower. So say I go close to 1000, change. It made the clip shorter because now it's faster, right? So now, that's how you increase the speed, right? So you're able to do it in DaVinci, obviously. So that's how you do that. But going back to Premiere Pro, so basically what I'm trying to show you is that something that helps to make a smooth transition from one clip to another is that, well, yeah, you want to make sure that like everything is sped up to like the right percentage, because if everything is consistent, some clips, they feel like they take longer, or if it's too fast, it looks like so much shit is going on at the same time that just doesn't look right. So the trick is basically you want to make sure that like there's enough visual information going on that like the viewer knows what's going on, right? As long as like the camera is stationary, it does look actually pretty cool, right? For example, let's say there's a part where Paul he cleans up the box grade, right? So this one I increased it to like fucking almost like 1300% speed increase, right? But that actually looks good, right? Because like the camera stationary is like a fast time lapse, so it just works out, right? Seeing like the progress happen from like a big mess to clean up the boxes, right? Now you can't do that with everything, right? But obviously you have to mess around with like what numerical value works best for your footage to do a time lapse with. Another thing that works for me that I feel kind of like works good to make a good transition from one clip to another is simply cut when work is happening, right? So in other words, he paused about to put the soundboard on the table, right? And just as he's about to like walk away, I cut to the next clip of him working. Watch. So he puts it down. So this is him like fixing like the soundboard material. And then like instead of like cutting away when he lets go, he's still working, and I cut to the next clip, right? So transition here. He cuts. He's working. He's working. He's working. He's working. He's working. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't just like cut when like he's done and he walks away. I cut like as he's moving, right? So like right here's a good example, right? You know, I cut where like he's about to cut the excess thread. I cut to where he's sewing just before he's about to finish. I cut to where he's still sewing just before he's about to finish. I cut to like something else where he's working now on like the LED strips, and just when he's about to finish, see how his hands are still, you know, being pressed against the LEDs. He's just about to pick up on the soundboard. Move over. Switch that. And then just end it with like him, you know, working. It's like, oh, that looks good, right? Oh, here's a good example. So this is handheld. As you can see here, if I right click on this clip, go to the speed and duration. See, this one's 250, right? Or close to it, right? 250. Like I said, handheld footage, it looks good at 250% speed increase, right? So it's not as jittery, right? Each clip is increased to a specific like speed. Like I said, if it's handheld, 250. Then everything else, like either 500, 750, or 1000, right? Anything else, I manually use like the tool to increase the speed, and then like, you know, I cut in between like the sped up clips while Paul is working, right? So if he does something, he's working, I cut to another part where he's working, I cut to another part where he's working, right? It just makes it like flow better and it looks a lot better, right? So when I do these time-lapse videos, right? So anyways, that's all I got. Here are the QR codes. If you found the video helpful, you want to help me buy a caffeine or some water, I'm good. That'll help me out, appreciate it, right? If not, no problem, just leave a like and a question and some loving words so I can feel good about myself and stuff. And yeah, like, subscribe, and all the good shit. And like, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. Take care and peace.